Hello and welcome to another tutorial with I'm with Pixel. Today we're going to take a look at this effect right here. As we see, on the right side is the end result, and on the left side is the picture I started with. It's not actually the picture I started with. As you see, it's kind of I changed the color of the dress to further emphasize the effect a bit. It's kind of a simple effect. So today we're gonna take a look at some adjustment layers, some new ways to work with adjustment layers, and some selective coloring. And you can see in the eyes, I changed the color of the eyes slightly. It's a subtle effect, but I can also show the dramatic effects. Also on the lip. This technique is useful for when you want to do subtle adjustments, when you want to have like your center thing in focus. As you see here, it kind of brighten up the face a bit. Here the background kind of is very bright and distracts from the object. It's just an example. This is a stock photo I found on the web of Christina Ricci, because it's kind of nice to have a cute girl to look at while you do this, I guess. Just a quick thing here. I'm gonna do kind of a thing here. Gonna change this picture to mosaic to see what we can do. Just gonna press a few hotkeys and change to mosaic. Kind of a dramatic effect here. Okay, you can't see it now because we actually have this layer over here in the top. Gonna do the same here. Sorry, I messed up. I changed it in the group. Right. Pixelate, mosaic. Okay, so this looks strange, doesn't it? I'm gonna zoom out a bit so we can see the effect from afar. So let's change this to black. So you can see here on the left side, you can see the face part is kind of brighter than the background part, and the dress as well. See, here is kind of a darkish tint. This is one technique to make yourself less distracted by the subject at hand. You can only see the brightness, the contrasts between the background and the foreground, because if you're in close like this, you can easily be distracted by the subject at hand. You can't really see what's going on with the brightness, because you're looking at the face rather than the relative levels of the picture. And let's get started. Let's close this one. No. You don't want to save that one. That was another picture I worked with. Sorry about that. Let's start with a blank slate here, shall we? And just delete this whole folder here. And the dress. So, let's start with the eyes, shall we? You're gonna zoom in quite a bit here. The eyes. And let's do like this. The quick selection tool. It's kind of an interesting little tool we can work with here. And you can see here, you can make a rough selection. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of hard to work with this tool if you're working with subtle changes in hue, but this kind of looks good. So let's go into hue saturation, and as you can see over here, which has made a mask for just the eye part with the hue saturation. You You can change the hue. Let's try a green color here. Kind of a... There we go. Zoom out. Well, now we can see only one eye is changed. Well, you can go in and do the other eye like this. We have mask selected, brush tool, colors. This is a good tip if you're working with masks. That you use the default black and white color, and you press the X key to switch background and foreground, so you can quickly reveal, press X, quickly conceal again. You can get like a workflow going here. You can paint outside, hit X, and delete it again. So you can get quite fast at this if you have this down. So we have painted the mask in, and now we have both eyes green. And of course we can go in and change the hue to kind of a red. But I like the subtle effect. I would like to, with this, I would like to actually emphasize the hazel brown in her eyes, so that kind of sticks out a bit more after we're finished. We're gonna save that for now and go into the big effects. Make her more pale and the background more dark. And this is not something that you might expect actually. This is kind of a new tip. Go to black and white. You can see add an adjustment layer as usual. Go to black and white, and you can see that, well, it's black and white, but here's the thing, right? You can change the adjustment layer of this black and white layer to luminosity, and now we can start to play with this really. So we can't see any effect yet, but if you go to this tool up here in the right, in the adjustment layers, adjustment panel, I guess, and you can click this kind of hand icon, right? So you can go into the picture and click and hold. So you can see you can make darker and you can make it brighter. And well, you can't really change a person to Afro-American, I would say, or something, because that just looks silly. I went for more like a bright face here, like that. Kind of looks good. And of course, go to the blue part and tone it down quite a bit. Same with the dress. Just grab the dress and pull it down. And you can see, if I click and hold, you can see on the right side over here that the blues are getting selected and adjusted. You can go in the earring, and it kind of goes into the skin tone a bit. We can go in and do this selectively with the layer mask, but I'm not gonna be too picky about that. So we have a kind of brightened up face here, and the background. We can do something about this white rectangle here, but we're not gonna go that far. This is subtle and good. Gonna go for the dress a bit more, and we're gonna change before and after. Quite a dramatic effect. And I would say that it does look realistic. You wouldn't say that this looks strange in any ways, but it is very dramatically different than this one. So, as you can see. So let's go to the eyes again and see what we can do. We can change the color of her eyes by dragging the hue slider. I kind of like the hazel brown notes on in her eye, so I'm gonna emphasize that a bit brighter. Something like that looks great. And to further emphasize the center object in this one, I'm going to add a vignette effect.